So it'll be the oil money PSG, the underdogs Borussia Dortmund, the German champions Bayern Munich, and the kings of football Real Madrid in the semi-finals of the 2024 Champions League edition. Yes, we'll cover the big game, Real Madrid knocking Man City out, but I just want to touch on the fact that you see no Premier League teams in this top four. I mean, the notion that the Premier League is the best league in the world, for me, is still something that I cannot seem to agree with. Best league in the world in terms of what? Because it definitely does not have the best teams. In order to match up with Real Madrid's 14 Champions Leagues, you need to add Liverpool's, Man United, Man City, and Chelsea's Champions Leagues all together in order to get what Real Madrid has. And it is no secret that when they face off 1v1, Premier League versus La Liga, in the Champions League final or in a Europa League final, the other Spanish teams always come out on top 99% of the time. And what happened this season? You've had Arsenal getting knocked out, Real Madrid knocking out Man City. You had Liverpool trailing to Atalanta, they most likely out. Man United and Newcastle got knocked out in the group stage. Leverkusen are currently beating West Ham. Yeah, so for me, I think Premier League may be a little bit more overrated. Most competitive is one thing, most entertaining, okay, yes. But best, what does best mean? Because in history as well, the Ballon d'Or winners usually come from Spain. The players that make the World 11 come from Spain and other countries. So I think it is clear to say the Premier League does not have the world's best players and does not have the world's best football teams. Just wanted to get that out of the way. Getting into the games. In order of how events happened, we start on Tuesday night. Barcelona lost to PSG and got knocked out. Xavi says it's because of the referee, but there's literally nothing you can do as a referee. When Araujo has gone flying in and taken out Bacola when he was through on goal, clean through on goal, there's literally nothing to complain about. I do not think Xavi has any leg to stand on. Maybe it's just passion, maybe it's just denial, or maybe it's just stress because now Barcelona will effectively go the season without a trophy. But I think it's as simple as that. Araujo changed the game and took Barcelona out. They were comfortably in the lead with 2 goals. It was still the first half. Just let Bacola go through. Maybe he misses, maybe the keeper saves, or maybe he scores. But still, you are 2 goals in front in the tie. You at home with 11v11 with PSG knowing the Camp Nou very well. So I think that changed the game. Barcelona could have probably maybe made it if they had 11v11, but PSG were completely the better side. They dominated the game even before the red card. May we please talk about Dembele for a minute, because this man is diabolical. After spending so many years at Barcelona, actually not delivering anything. You could argue that he cost Barcelona the title when he didn't finish Liverpool off with that chance. You could argue that Barcelona paid way too much for him, over 100 million, and he's not delivered. He spent most of his time in the hospital, and now all of a sudden he's firing. Xavi used to back him, says the best winger in the world at times, and Dembele just gets his first 2 goals in the Champions League for PSG against Barcelona. That is completely diabolical. He was injured. The players would wear shirts with Dembele's name to support him after he'd been months out. But come on, he just delivers his best performances against Barcelona and celebrates. That is crazy. Yeah, he hates them. He completely hates them. Speaking of a man who also hates them, is Paris Saint-Germain's Kylian Mbappe, who scored now back-to-back at least 2 goals when he's visited the Camp Nou. And Real Madrid fans are eating it up. Barcelona fans just have to get used to it because he's coming. He's coming. Hold up, pause. No diddy, of course. Now we move on. Barcelona's Champions League ties have finished in horror. It's been a horror show since the last time they won it. Just look at those scores, and you have the 8-2 sandwiched in between.
But really the truth is you're scared of the 6. Yeah, you're scared of the 6. Yeah, you're scared of the 6.
I think the better team was PSG. There's a notion that Messi is the reason for PSG's failures in the past few years, and I don't know why we come up with these narratives that Messi holds a team back, that Cristiano Ronaldo didn't do anything for Juventus, he was actually bad for them, that Ronaldo was bad for Man United. I don't know how you can conclusively say that when they score the goals. The notion that Spurs play better without Harry Kane, guys, come on, let's grow up. These are the best players in the teams. Yeah, it was an all-timer night on Tuesday. 11 goals in 2 2 games. Absolutely brilliant. Dortmund go through. That is something that I would like to say I am actually pleasantly surprised to see. Atletico Madrid get knocked out. I thought they would actually eliminate Dortmund easy, but Dortmund are steadily going through this Champions League campaign, just overcoming the odds. They literally just came through the group of death, knocked out AC Milan and Newcastle, qualified with PSG, and they even came and overturned a 2-1 deficit in the first leg, where I think they should have gotten something from the game actually, but it was 2-2 and they still came back with 2 more goals. Wow. They need to go all out and do it for Marco Reus. Winning the Champions League in Marco Reus's final game for Dortmund might just make us all cry. Now on to Wednesday night, where we start at Pray for Bayern. What happened? What happened, Arsenal fans? I thought this Arsenal team is different. I thought this Arsenal team is the one that finally gets revenge on Bayern Munich. And someone was also calling for Barcelona, saying they want revenge against Barcelona as well for their past crimes. But I think it's safe to say that all Arsenal fans are slightly deluded. You know, they're slightly deluded. They were cooking us these past few weeks, and now it looks like it's crumbling. Lost in the Premier League and now have fallen behind in the title race, and now out of their last remaining cup competition. Wow. It's another hexagon. But I will say something though. Let's be fair. Arsenal have improved. I think the fans are celebrating the fact that Arsenal have improved. Quarterfinals is not too bad for an improving Arsenal side. Yes, it wasn't the most amazing Champions League campaign though, I should say. I think maybe slightly celebrations over the top there. But I do think it is disappointing that Arsenal couldn't beat Bayern Munich in their current form right now. And now on to the main event, the showstopper. Real Madrid knocked Man City out on penalties. Lunin, I'm sorry, we were not familiar with your game. You are not the stepfather, but the father that stepped up in Courtois' injury. Great performance by Lunin. Antonio Rudiger, for me, was man of the match. Absolutely amazing performances. 3 out of 3 against Manchester City. If you remember, he started the first one last season in the first leg and didn't play in the second leg. And in both those legs, kept Haaland very, very quiet. Absolutely amazing performance by Antonio Rudiger. But Haaland, again, disappearing in a very big game for Man City. In a very big game against Real Madrid, where Man City needed him most, it just wasn't happening for Haaland. And I think he was really kept quiet during these ties, even in the final. And Rudiger's performances have been immense, because remember, he's the one who kept Man City out in the 2021 Champions League final after he won with Chelsea against City. Again, another clean sheet in that game. The Don Carlo once again gets one over Man City and Pep Guardiola. He is in the conversation of one of the best managers of all time. Amazing on how he's just man management, and he can just raise his eyebrow and Real Madrid score a goal. That's it. The best probably man manager in the entire world for me. And this time we even saw his tactics on great display. I think this is a balanced manager who has everything, and even respect. He even has respect from his players. I mean, we know he's won Champions League the most, and he's won it with different teams. Absolutely amazing achievement, and he looks on course again to win it again. Did Real Madrid park the bus? No, for me, no. That was a specifically tactical display with defense first mind, but they were coming out. They were very good on the counter-attack. That's how they scored. And also, they were very careful with the ball once they had it. They had good possession. They were just not really trying to impose themselves on the game. But they thought their best way of winning this game was just to be really solid and actually go for extra time once it came to 1-1. Yes, you can't defend Man City for the whole game, and that's what happened. De Bruyne scored again, but Real Madrid held on. They held on and went and won it on penalties. Again, not a bad display from Man City either, but Real Madrid were defensively better in this case. Vinicius Jr. with an assist to add to his 2 in the previous game, always performs against Premier League teams. Rodrigo, he seems to be the owner of Man City at this point. And yes, City dominated the game. You can see from the stats completely clear. 18 corners to 1 of Real Madrid is absolutely insane. But Real Madrid, I think, were always in the game. They look comfortable defending. I just have the issue with Pep Guardiola and him not trying to influence game. His subs I call into question specifically. He made a sub only in the 72nd minute when it was still 1-0 to Real Madrid. So for me, maybe that's a little bit too late, but he was trusting his team and they still got the equalizer. And once again, He then made a change for Haaland only in the 90th minute when Haaland was clearly ineffective the whole game. So for me, I am questioning that as well. Yes, you are losing and it would be risky to take off Haaland, maybe add Alvarez to support him, but Haaland has not been delivering for a while now. So I am still questioning that decision. And in extra time, he took off Kevin De Bruyne. And remember, taking off Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne meant you took out at least two potential penalty takers who at least have experience from the spot and who've taken penalties before, and Haaland has been clinical. Taking off Kevin De Bruyne, I mean, unless he was tired, when Real Madrid were clearly tiring and you need someone to unlock the defense, especially in extra time, bad decision. And you lost a potential penalty taker because this leads to players like Bernardo Silva take a penalty. I've never seen Bernardo Silva take a penalty. To make matters worse, the crowd held on to the ball for like 30 seconds before he could take it, and you can just clearly see he was nervous and it was a bad penalty. But to be fair, I've never seen Bernardo Silva take a penalty, and you can clearly see he was shaken. Yeah, for me, that's slightly on Pep Guardiola. You take Haaland off, you take your number one penalty taker off. It leads to Kovacic taking a penalty, and those penalties were poor. But losing on penalties to the kings of the competition is not a bad result. It is almost not a bad result. It's a respectable after being the better team in the game. Real Madrid did do this the hard way. The ties were extremely close and the players were shattered. You could clearly see the players were shattered. But hate watch this week has been the most craziest hate watch that I've seen in a long time. If your team can't win it, then you can make sure that no one can. At least no rival team of yours should be able to do it. I think it's been an amazing Champions League so far. It's been extremely full of drama, goals, entertainment, and lots of laughter. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and we continue on with the road. It is now, for me, looking like it's on Madrid. It is looking like it is on Madrid because if you look at what's left, Madrid are the only side with real Champions League pedigree. I mean, to be fair, they have Champions League over everyone, but this is looking tasty. I think they should be licking their lips. They can beat anyone, especially after beating the defending champions, Man City. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you enjoyed Champions League. Please subscribe and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bayern, the Arsenal. Okay? Real Madrid, Manchester City. Just Man City. Oh, go over this way, a little pirouette there, Jamie. Atlético, Dortmund, Atlético. PSG, Barca. Sorry, Killian, I'm going with Barca. Oh.